Hi, Megan Buckley-Fass here again from FranklyRealty.com. We're going to talk about buying a bank-owned property today. There's a lot of you in the market looking for that great value. I myself bought a bank-owned property a few years back, also known as a foreclosure, REO. There's a lot of terminology. We can talk about that. Actually, I'll talk about that in another video. First thing is you want to find those properties. Yes, they are on the MLS. In fact, if you go to FranklyMLS.com, you research in your search tool, you put REO, that will actually come with all of the foreclosure properties the bank owned. However they have it the terminology in there, it will search for you. So once you find those, then you have your buyer agent that will help you, and these are the key things that you want to make sure you're doing correctly. First, you have to realize there's a hassle factor when you're buying a bank-owned property. It requires a lot of patience and time. In fact, I just helped a buyer buy a property that was $100,000 less than other listed properties. We put an offer 2 days after it came in the market, and it took 3 weeks to hear back from the bank. I'm actually going to do another video on that specific property and the steps that were involved with that, so come back to that video. It is hard to get in touch with the listing agent, so again, you have to be patient. The listing agents oftentimes have 100 of these bank-owned properties on the market, so customer service sometimes is lacking. You're going to be buying this property as is, so you have to feel comfortable knowing that there might be something that you're going to have to fix and put some money into it. However, you should be asking for a home inspection. That is important. Most likely the bank is not going to agree to do any fixes or give you any credits towards home inspection items. But keep in mind that you can't really do a home inspection, a full home inspection, if you don't have the utilities or the water on. So that's another hassle factor, getting in touch with that listing agent to make sure that those things are on. Choosing a reputable lender is also very important in this market. We've heard several stories of people going to closing and their lender drops the ball and the buyer sitting there without their home. The problem with bank-owned properties is oftentimes they are implementing a penalty, either $100, $200 a day. So you want to keep that in mind to make sure that you aren't going to be paying those extra fees because your lender dropped the ball. And a reputable title company, that's very, very important. I'm going to do another video on about a buyer that I helped that was previously under contract with another buyer that had used the title company of the seller, which was the bank, and had 5 outstanding liens on the property that they were going to transfer to that poor new buyer. That fell through. I helped a buyer, chose Monarch Title in Old Town, who found 5 outstanding liens and had to get them closed out properly, so my buyer had clean title. Working with the buyer agent is key to get you the best price as well, to know what kind of offer to submit. You're going to want to get stats, a lot of statistics, to save you money versus possibly losing the home. Researching the listing agent is key. There are so many agents out there with different philosophies, and we actually do what's called a Frankly CRA, where we will research other listing agents to see how their philosophies and their sales history is. So one might be an overpricer by nature, and every 3 weeks, every 30 days, 60 days, they drop the price. So we can see if it's day 29 and they're dropping the price historically on day 30, we know that they're probably going to be doing another price drop. There are some agents that price it below market and it gets priced over asking price. In fact, just a couple months ago, I was helping a buyer, and the first 2 contracts we put on the property for asking price, actually we got a bit above. Well, the first property was for asking price, lost out on that. Second property we actually offered above asking price, lost out on that, and then we finally won on the third property. So some of these agents are marketing and listing very aggressively. So you need to know that information. It's very important when deciding on your offer. So what I'll do is give you Vegas odds based upon the listing agent history and also the comps in the neighborhood. What if a property just sold down the street for $25,000 less, $50,000 less? That's very useful information. What if they're selling for 100 grand less or 100 grand more? You know, it's probably going to get bid above. So the combination of those two pieces of information are key. So in the end, we'll work together, if I'm going to be your buyer agent, to come up with Vegas odds. If you put in this price, 80% chance this will happen, 50% chance this will happen, you know, and so forth. So these are all things to really consider. You can get a great value with these bank-owned properties, but you need to know all the pieces to be able to do it properly and do it the best way. So please feel free to ask me any questions, shoot me an email. Again, Megan at realtormegan.com. Thanks so much.